We are going to delve into a topic of utmost importance for health and well being. People who know me wonder how I was able to maintain my weight. Well, actually, I have several tools in my toolbox that I use to stay in the course of changing or maintaining my lifestyle. And today, what I'm going to teach you is one of my best kept tools. I've taught this to my family and even my kids the moment they knew how to mentally divide numbers. This is also one of the first few things that I teach my patients. I'm also sharing this to you so you can use this knowledge as your tool anytime. Anytime you think about what food should I eat, what food should I not eat. A lot of my patients said that this is one of the best and the most useful tool that they've learned from me. What is nutrition label and why is it important? Have you ever looked at a nutrition label before? Before I knew about lifestyle medicine, before I knew about the power of healthy eating as medicine, I only decide what to eat, what food to eat based on how it looks and how it appeals to me. That's it. We all do that, right? Because back then we are the mindless eater. But now I understand that the ability to read and understand nutrition label is an essential skill. It empowers us to make informed choices. There's so much to learn from the small panel of information in that food package at the back of that product. The ingredients list is equally important in the label reading because here you are going to uncover hidden additives, preservatives, or allergens that might affect your health. But there's a caveat to that too. When you're looking at the ingredients list, just because it's not there doesn't mean it's not in the food. Know that not all preservatives, additives, binders, food enhancers, and other chemicals that they throw into a processed food are listed there. Not all. Hey, lifestyle changers! It's Dr. Edelita, and welcome to my Sunday drive. Today, we are going to delve into a topic of utmost importance for health and well being. People who know me wonder how I was able to maintain my weight. Well, actually, I have several tools in my toolbox that I use to stay in the course of changing or maintaining my lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. And today, what I'm actually going to teach you is one of my best kept tools. I've taught this to my family and even my kids the moment they knew how to mentally divide numbers. I jumped in and taught them this tool. And they were, I think, about 8 years old then, when I give them this information and made sure that they use it so that they can make better choices for themselves. This is also one of the first few things that I teach my patients on day one of the program, in the program. That's how important it is. And I hope you appreciate the value of this information. I teach this on day one because it's very, very important. So you can use this on day one. If today is your day one, after you listen to this video, you already have the first most important tool with you. And you'll understand why is it important later. I'm also sharing this to you so you can use this knowledge as your tool anytime. Anytime you think about what food should I eat, what food should I not eat. Sometimes it gets too confusing, and I think this one, if you master this tool, it's going to get you 50% better with your food choices. So, what is it that I am teaching today? Well, I will be teaching you the art of reading and understanding nutrition labels. That's right. And I promise to keep it simple. A lot of my patients said that this is one of the best and the most useful tool that they've learned from me. And until now, they've been using that. Until now, I've been using this too. I want to know if you feel the same way too. So share your experience, guys, if you find this useful and empowering. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's begin. Now, let's start with the fundamental question. What is nutrition label and why is it important? First, what is nutrition label? A nutrition label is a small but immensely informative panel that is found in any or nearly all packaged foods. It provides valuable insights into the nutrition content of the product. And I have actually a few examples here. So this are in my pantry. So in any food product that you have on hand that you did not prepare, somebody else did, food companies, you, whether it's in a box or in a can or in a plastic sealed whatever packaging, you will find this section labeled nutrition facts. You will find that no matter how small the print is, you will see that nutrition facts. That's the nutrition label I'm talking about. So that is very, very informative. And that's what I will teach you, how to understand what this words and numbers mean and what will be your goal. All right. So this is very, I'm telling you, my kids know how to read nutrition labels. So I trust that you can also read this too if you pay attention. Because I want you, my goal is to make you a smart food consumer. Because think about this, guys. When you go shopping for a nice dress for a party, you would spend like an hour or two probably roaming around shopping malls, right? Finding the best dress for the party that you only wear externally. Don't you think we should have the same attitude towards food? That we should be able to tell whether that food is good or not good for you, right? So, okay, first, I want to ask you, have you ever looked at the nutrition label before? Type in the chat box. Have you ever looked at the nutrition label before? With all honesty, and I'm not ashamed to admit, I'm not, that even though I'm in the medical field, before I knew about lifestyle medicine, before I knew about the power of healthy eating as medicine, I have no clue what that nutrition label is telling me. I didn't even care to look at it. I mean, I didn't know that is such powerful information there. I only decide what to eat, what food to eat based on how it looks and how it appeals to me. That's it. We all do that, right? We all do. Because back then we are the mindless eater. We were the no clue consumer. But now I understand that the ability to read and understand nutrition label is an essential skill that anybody can learn, that I personally think children should also learn. It empowers us to make informed choices. So there's so much to learn from the small panel of information in that food package at the back of that product. There's so much. I have enough time, but today I'm only going to teach you what is essential and basic for you to get now so you can use this information now. And not to say that all the rest of the information that I'm not discussing today are not important, not to say that, but I just need more time to cover those. So today, just the basic stuff for now. So I want you to get a pen or paper Or use your phone and make notes on your phone. You have a cheat sheet so that uh, it's with you handy and you can pull it out whenever you're confronted with a food package. Okay? So now one of the first pieces of information you'll encounter is a serving size. Okay. So this is an example, and we're going to go through the basic items here in the food, in the nutrition label. So one of the first piece of information you'll see is the serving size. Serving size in this example is 2/3 of a cup. It sets the stage for everything that follows. So that's the first one you should look at. Understanding the serving size, the amount of food per serving, ensures that you're not inadvertently consuming more or less of a particular nutrient that you intended. I'll explain later. So in this example, the serving size is 2/3 of a cup. Now everything else that we discussed, the numbers here, will be based on a serving size of 2/3 cup. Are you following? Now, next we have calories, which gives you an idea of the amount of energy a serving of the food provides. So 2/3 of a cup of this food gives you 230 calories. That's energy. This number is crucial for those who are managing their weight or daily caloric intake. This number, the calories, is important for those who are managing their weight or daily caloric intake. Now, there's a caveat to this. It's not really the question of how many calories, not much of the question of how many calories are you supposed to eat, but more importantly, where are you getting these calories or energies from? Well, we obtain our calories or energy from these 3 macronutrients. You have the fat, carbohydrates, and protein. Fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. These are our sources of energy, of this number of these calories. Okay? This label breaks down how much of each is in a serving. By the way, this sample nutrition that you're looking at is not an ideal or healthy food sample. Okay? This is just for informational purposes only. Now, you can then decide which, your goal is to decide which of this is, which of these macronutrients, carbohydrates, fats, or proteins, should you get more of your energies from. So here, we'll start with fats, okay? So now here, in this example, you have a total fat of 8 grams. What I want you to remember is that saturated fat and trans fat are the fats that we want to avoid. Again, these are the bad fats, and therefore we want to avoid or at least significantly cut down in our diet. The saturated fat, my personal set limit on the saturated fat is no more than 1 gram, but if possible, must be 0. In this example, it's 1 gram. Trans fat is 0 grams. In the United States, trans fat is already banned, so we expect that all to be 0. What we have a problem on is the saturated fat, because this is still not regulated. So food companies are free to put how much they want. Okay? So saturated fat and trans fat are the bad fat. You want to avoid them. Saturated fat, set it down to no more than 1 gram, but if possible, 0. Now, the next thing that you're going to look at is cholesterol. Cholesterol, sources of cholesterol is in the animal and animal products. So when you are holding something that you know comes from animal, you would expect the cholesterol to be high in that food. So we are animals, therefore we have the ability to make cholesterol. Now, if you're eating animal products, you are adding more cholesterol to your body. And the body says, wait a minute, I don't need this. I don't need this much. I can even produce it when I need to. So these are extra fat that form another form of fat that we consume unnecessarily. And then you would just, pack them in the body and maybe deposit it in your blood vessels. And if you have watched my video on a heart attack, you can then relate or connect this cholesterol and fat to the heart attack progression or development of a heart attack. So cholesterol must be 0. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to sodium. Sodium is salt, and it's expressed in milligrams. Now, the secret is very simple. I mean, how do you know you're eating too much of salt in that product? Remember this. Look at the milligrams of sodium, and it should not be more than the calories. Here. In this example, sodium is 160. It's not more than 230. So then it fits to the criteria, right? So as far as sodium, this is okay. It's not more than our calories. Now let's move on to total carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is a second source of, main source of energy that our body taps energy from. Here, I want you to look at just the grams. If you notice, I'm only focusing on the numbers here close to the word, close to the item. Please don't look at this percentage. In this video, we're only referring to not the percentage, but the grams or milligrams beside the items. So, carbohydrates. For carbohydrates, I want you to look at down under the category of carbohydrates is dietary fiber. Fiber is the least appreciated and paid importance by food consumers because, I don't know, it's just really basically coming down to less information about fiber, but fiber is the main actor of carbohydrate. It's one of the carbohydrates that our body needs. And the nice thing about fiber is that it not only decreases our risk for stomach intestinal cancer, but also helps us lose weight, control our blood sugar, control our cholesterol, blood cholesterol, and also helps maintain good blood pressure. So there are many more benefits of fiber that I will discuss in my next videos. But how do you know you have enough fiber? It's very simple, guys. You look at the grams of carbohydrates and divide it by the grams in fiber. And the answer is ideally between 1 to 5. If you can get an answer between 1 to 5, you are incredibly in a good, you found a product that is good for you. So in this example, 37 divided by 4, that's about 9 point something, right? It's not within our target. Okay. So is this okay or not? Well, my answer would be it depends on what other alternatives do you have at hand. So what I would recommend is that, for example, you're looking at 3 different kinds of pasta or macaroni salad, for salad. You do this division and then choose the one which has the lowest carbohydrate fiber ratio, because you know that the fiber in it is much higher than the rest. Are you following? So we want our dietary fiber to be as high as possible. Okay? Now, what's the next? Still under carbohydrates, I want you to look at added sugar. Here you see 10 grams of added sugar. What does that look like? I don't know. When I first started, looking and learning about this, I asked myself, well, I'm not carrying a miniature food weighing scale with me wherever I go. I cannot visualize how much is 10 grams. Simple. Want you to remember, you divide that grams of added sugar by 4 because there's 4 grams per teaspoon. So then when you divide that by 4, you'll know how many teaspoons does that equal to. So for 10 grams divided by 4, that's 2.5 teaspoons of added sugar. Are you following? I hope you still do. Okay? So in total carbohydrates, under total carbohydrates, there are 2 things I want you to check. First, do your carbohydrate fiber division and aim for an answer between 1 to 5, or at least close to 5, or the number that is closer to 5. So if you have an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20, of course you'll choose the product which is 8 ratio, right? Now, the second thing you're going to look at in the carbohydrate section is your added sugar. Added sugar, that is explanatory. Added sugar. And do not forget to divide that grams of added sugar by 4 so you can easily visualize how many teaspoons in it. So that you can appreciate or maybe get scared to look at, wow, like 2.5 teaspoons? Do I really want to have that much in this 2/3 cup of, let's say, soup, right? Or 2/3 cup of coffee? Do you actually put 2.5 teaspoons of sugar in it? For some, or for most, when I ask them this question, they would say, definitely not. That's too much. But just because they're not the one who prepared it and they're blinded and all they could appreciate is the taste of a sweet, delicious, and coffee, right? So now, last but not the least is protein. Protein. Here, example is 3 gums. To be honest with you, when you are on a whole food plant-based diet and you're doing it right, we don't have to worry about protein deficiency. No, especially if you are incorporating beans, nuts, legumes, lentils, right, in your diet. Even green leafy vegetables have protein. And again, I have a separate video about protein, right? Why we should not worry about protein deficiency in whole food plant-based. And that is something that an existing but strong myth that discourage people from considering the most healthy diet in the planet. All right. Now, I think that was just a quick rundown of our nutrition label. And as I've said, there's too much to cover in that. But I promise you that if you use that, make a little note on your phone. Draw it out when you are doing your grocery. Or even after this video, you check what foods do you have in your pantry, in your refrigerator, because I think that when you are well informed, you make better choices. Now, there's another thing that I don't want to forget to mention. The ingredients list is also right under the nutrition label information. Now, the ingredients list is equally important in the label reading, because here you are going to uncover hidden additives, preservatives, or allergens that might affect your health. But there's a caveat to that too. When you're looking at the ingredients list, just because it's not there doesn't mean it's not in the food. What do I mean by that? Know that not all preservatives, additives, binders, food enhancers, and other chemicals that they throw into a processed food are listed there. Not all. Okay? So, are we liking this so far? Are you starting to feel the power of control? I want you to feel that way because I expect you, after watching this video, that you will check whatever food package you have in your kitchen, in your pantry, in your cabinet, in your freezer, in your refrigerator, using this guide that I just taught you. Knowledge is not power unless you use it. I want you to feel the power of control so that the next time you walk down the grocery aisles, remember that the real power is not just in what you buy, but in how you understand and use the information provided on those nutrition labels. They are there for a reason, guys. Why do you think food companies are mandated to put a nutrition label on their products? Have you ever thought about that? We should wonder why it's there. It's for you. It's for me. It's for us consumers, so that we are aware of what we are putting in our mouths. Unfortunately, you and I were not taught about this, but now you know, and I trust that you will use this. And I promise you, more deeper understanding of the fats, proteins, carbohydrates, and other micronutrients are coming your way. How it impacts health, it's coming your way in my future videos. So stay tuned and be the first to know by joining our Facebook group, The Lifestyle Changer MD, hosted here every Sunday. I'll see you next week.